I ain't gonna lie, David's cooked. Another photo has just come out of him on FaceTime with the girl.
That's right, David's done for. Still, he's been denying every bit of evidence the internet's thrown his way. Even now, police haven't officially pressed charges, despite reports tying him to a 15-year-old girl he allegedly wrote songs about. Online though, the verdict's already in. And in this video, I'll show you just how far David's gone to hide what really happened. The discovery that changed everything. It began as what looked like a simple scheduling hiccup on a musician's calendar, but it quickly exploded into one of 2025's most talked about celebrity investigations. On September 8, 2025, Los Angeles authorities uncovered something that would derail singer David's rapid rise and spark months of outrage, rumor, and unanswered questions. According to verified police and media accounts, a Tesla registered to David, full name David Anthony Burke, was towed from a Hollywood Hills street after sitting ticketed and abandoned for several days. 2 days later, workers at the tow yard reported a strong odor coming from the car's front trunk, prompting an immediate inspection. Inside, officers discovered human remains sealed in plastic, later identified as those of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, a missing teen from Lake Elsinore, California. Celeste had gone missing multiple times since 2024, with her latest disappearance reported on February 14, 2025. Forensic testing confirmed her identity through DNA, and early reports mentioned a small tattoo on her right index finger reading "Sure," a detail her mother quickly recognized. Speaking with Rose Cray Media, Celeste's mother said the tattoo matched her daughter's exactly and revealed she had once mentioned an older boyfriend named David, someone the family had never met. Police later connected the vehicle to David's rented Hollywood Hills home. He had been performing on tour in Minneapolis the same night the body was discovered, creating a timeline gap investigators are still working to close. Right after the discovery, LAPD's Robbery Homicide Division confirmed that the cause and manner of death was still undetermined, pending toxicology results. Detectives seized electronic devices and executed search warrants on September 17, but by October 10, 2025, no charges had been filed and David wasn't officially listed as a suspect. Authorities stated that without a verified homicide, linking the musician directly to Celeste's death remained speculative. Their statement read, "The investigation remains active, and we await the medical examiner's final findings before identifying any persons of interest." Despite that warning, social media instantly filled the information gap. Within hours, hashtags like #JusticeForCeleste Rivas and #DavidExposed trended on X and TikTok, blurring the line between outrage, rumor, and mourning. Before all this, David, pronounced D4vd, had been hailed as one of Gen Z's brightest alt-pop rising stars. Born on March 28, 2005, in Queens, New York, David grew up in Houston and was homeschooled after 7th grade. He first gained attention online through Fortnite montage videos before turning to music, recording tracks in his sister's closet with the BandLab app. His breakout single, Romantic Homicide, 2022, went viral on TikTok, earning over 1.7 billion streams and peaking at number 33 on the Billboard Hot 100. The song's noir-inspired video, centered on heartbreak and violence, now carries unsettling echoes in light of the case's parallels. By 2025, David had landed a multi-million-dollar deal with Darkroom Interscope Records, the same label behind Billie Eilish, and released his debut album Withered, which reached number 13 on the Billboard 200. His Withered World Tour sold out across North America and Europe, but by mid-September 2025, every remaining date had been abruptly cancelled. When Celeste's remains were discovered, David was already days into the tour's Midwest leg. Fans in Seattle and San Francisco reported sudden postponements with no explanation. Later, TikTok reporter Case Rundown confirmed that David had cancelled his Seattle concert the same day Celeste's identity was made public, adding that the body found in his Tesla belonged to 15-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez, whose cause of death was still undetermined. The overlapping timeline fueled heavy speculation online. Each tour stop became a discussion point, especially after reports of a property transfer many interpreted as an attempt to shield assets ahead of potential legal fallout. Before the coroner's confirmation, journalist Rose Cray received a tip that the victim's tattoo read "Sure" on her right index finger. When she reached out to Celeste's mother, the woman confirmed her daughter had the same tattoo and had once mentioned a boyfriend named David. She described it as the last physical clue linking them before police contact. Investigators have not stated publicly whether the tattoo match constitutes significant evidence, but its viral spread deepened public conviction of a connection between the singer and the teen. Fans began resurfacing concert photos and supposed screenshots of messages referencing "Sure," interpreting them as coded hints. None of those claims have been verified by law enforcement. The case quickly dominated national headlines. Outlets from KTLA to the Los Angeles Times reported on the grisly discovery linking a missing teenager to a pop star's vehicle. Meanwhile, TikTok users dissected David's lyrics for hidden meaning. One viral post by user Atreek Dagamini alleged that members of David's Discord server had known about his relationship with Celeste since 2021 and claimed he paid classmates to keep quiet. The clip referenced lyrics from an unreleased track allegedly titled "Oh Celeste."
I hear her voice each time I take a breath. I'm obsessed. Oh, Celeste, afraid you'll only love me when undressed.
Those lyrics, circulating without any verified source, added another layer of intrigue. Part creative expression, part possible evidence. Lapped officials declined to say whether the song exists in their case files. When Celeste's name was officially released on September 16th, candlelight vigils began appearing in her hometown of Lake Elsinore. Local stations aired interviews with classmates who described her as intelligent but restless. Within 2 days, her family's GoFundMe for funeral costs surpassed $4,000 in donations. Around the same time, David's online activity went dark. His ex-account, at D4vd, stopped posting after September 7th, 1 day before the discovery, and his management team refused all interview requests. Interscope Records confirmed only that all promotional work was on hold pending legal developments. The Los Angeles County Medical Examiner initially listed Celeste's cause of death as deferred, pending full toxicology analysis. Sources within law enforcement said that decomposition had complicated the timeline, suggesting Celeste may have died weeks before the car was found. Search warrant returns show police collected DNA swabs, multiple electronic devices, and Tesla data logs, including GPS and internal camera footage. Forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee told KTLA that advanced decomposition can obscure trauma, making it impossible to confirm homicide until chemical testing is complete. As of October 2025, those lab results had not been released to the public. Meanwhile, ABC7 reported that David was cooperating fully, having voluntarily provided DNA samples and allowing limited access to his devices. His attorney, high-profile defense lawyer Blair Burke, issued a statement emphasizing that Mr. Burke is not under arrest, and no charges are anticipated until the investigation concludes. Even without legal action, the fallout was immediate. Major brands like Crocs and Hollister cut ties with David, while collaborator Kaliachis requested that streaming services remove their duet crashing. Industry sources described an overnight freeze, radio promotion stopped, music video budgets were suspended, and upcoming festival slots were quietly reassigned. Ironically, the controversy reignited public interest. Billboard data showed Romantic Homicide and Here With Me returning to viral charts by late September, as listeners revisited his catalog through a darker lens. Analysts called it the morbid streaming effect, where scandals spark short-lived boosts in attention even as reputations collapse. In Lake Elsinore, the response was far more personal. Locals held candlelight vigils for Celeste and condemned online harassment targeting her family. City officials urged residents to wait for verified updates and to respect the investigation's progress. At Celeste's funeral on October 6th, classmates released pink and white balloons while her mother, speaking through an interpreter, asked for justice without hatred. Meanwhile, David's silence continued to divide public opinion. Supporters claimed his withdrawal was a legal necessity. Critics saw it as an admission of guilt. By the end of the month, over 40 million TikTok views carried the tag #DavidCase, turning the story into both a true crime fixation and a cultural flashpoint about celebrity accountability. Officially, the case remains the tragic death of a minor under unresolved circumstances. But online, countless competing narratives, accusing, defending, and speculating, drown out the few verified facts that exist. What remains undeniable is that this case has become a litmus test for how modern culture weighs allegations against evidence, especially when art, fame, and youth collide. Coming up next, we'll explore the alleged relationship between David and Celeste Rivas Hernandez, how an online friendship evolved into a controversial timeline of grooming accusations, what the evidence actually suggests, and why police have yet to file charges despite mounting public scrutiny. By the time Los Angeles detectives confirmed Celeste's identity, the internet had already built its own version of events, connecting lyrics, posts, and tattoos into a story of a forbidden relationship between the rising pop star and the teenage girl. What took shape was a blurred portrait of boundaries between artist and admirer, filtered through Discord servers, live streams, and rumor threads that investigators still haven't verified. Multiple reports and social media analyses indicate that David, then 17, first encountered Celeste, around 11 or 12, in shared online spaces devoted to Fortnite gaming and his early music. Teachers and classmates later told reporters that Celeste often spoke about chatting with a rapper named David she'd met online. Those early interactions allegedly migrated to Discord, where she joined his fan servers under a pseudonym. Psychotherapist Dr. Janie Lacey, cited in several broadcasts, described such exchanges as a textbook case of parasocial grooming, where admiration blurs into perceived intimacy. However, investigators have found no authenticated chat logs or message archives, only screenshots circulating across X and Reddit. Unverified Discord transcripts depict a gradual shift from casual banter to emotional connection. By late 2022, fan accounts claimed the two shared matching profile pictures and subtle lyrical references. One viral thread compiled alleged screenshots of private calls in which David referred to "my girl Celeste," though none of these materials have been corroborated by law enforcement. Still, real-world fragments appeared to echo the rumors. Photos emerged of a girl resembling Celeste seen at small Los Angeles industry gatherings with members of David's entourage. Friends interviewed by News Nation said they believe the girl was a 19-year-old USC student, unaware she was, in fact, a minor. Police later confirmed that both David and Celeste shared a small shirt tattoo on their right index fingers, which Celeste's mother identified as her daughter's. Perhaps the most striking claim surfaced when TikTok creator at D4vd posted a clip quoting lyrics from an unreleased track allegedly titled "Oh Celeste, I hear her voice each time I take a breath, I'm obsessed, oh Celeste, afraid you'll only love me when undressed." The post asserted that the song had circulated privately on David's Discord server as early as 2022. Lapt has not commented on whether the recording was recovered during digital searches, but fans widely interpreted it as proof of a secret relationship. Music analysts have warned against reading artistic lyrics as confessions, citing California Evidence Code Section 352, which limits the use of creative works as proof without corroboration. Still, the public often struggles to separate metaphor from motive. Between February 2024 and April 2025, the Riverside County Sheriff's Office recorded at least 11 calls to Celeste's home for disturbances or welfare checks. Each time, she was found safe, typically after brief disappearances. The final report came in August 2024, when her mother reportedly told a family friend, "She's left me again." Some witnesses now believe those absences overlapped with trips to Los Angeles, where David was recording Withered. An ex-boyfriend described Celeste as sweet but restless, saying she often felt misunderstood at home. That vulnerability, experts suggest, may have made her more susceptible to manipulation. However, no verified evidence links David to direct contact during those times. On September 17th, investigators executed a search warrant at David's rented Hollywood Hills mansion, valued at $20,000 per month. Officers seized laptops, external drives, and smartphones for forensic imaging. The next day, ABC7 reported that 2 of David's Texas properties had been transferred to his mother's name, a move his legal team called standard estate planning, though critics online labeled it evasive. The coroner's report listed Celeste's cause of death as deferred, pending toxicology results. Decomposition suggested she may have died weeks earlier, possibly in August, with overdose or asphyxiation considered potential causes. No blunt force trauma was recorded. Forensic pathologist Dr. Priya Banerjee told KTLA that decomposition can sometimes mimic dismemberment, countering viral rumors that Celeste's body had been mutilated. Shortly after the warrant was executed, David formally retained attorney Blair Burke, a Hollywood defense lawyer known for representing Mel Gibson and Lindsay Lohan. In a public statement, she reiterated, "Mr. Burke is not a suspect. He has fully cooperated and provided DNA voluntarily." Lapt confirmed his current status as a cooperative witness, not a target of charges. Meanwhile, David's manager, Josh Marshall, told E! News that the team was shocked and heartbroken for everyone involved, emphasizing that no employees had been questioned as suspects. Online speculation, however, continued to move faster than official updates. Creators like at D4vd and at KS Rundown claimed Discord servers contained messages from 2021 referencing Celeste's age and alleged payments to silence friends. So far, Lapt has not verified any of those claims or confirmed recovering matching records. Police statements continue to stress 2 key facts. First, that Celeste's cause of death remains undetermined, and second, that David is not a named suspect. Until either changes, any charges, from manslaughter to evidence concealment, remain speculative. While law enforcement proceeds cautiously, the music industry reacted immediately. Interscope Records suspended promotion of Withered and its deluxe follow-up Marcescence. Collaborators like KIAS have since confirmed plans to remove joint tracks from streaming platforms. Endorsement deals with Crocs and Hollister were quietly dissolved, and festival organizers discreetly removed David's name from upcoming lineups without formal statements. Despite the fallout, his streaming numbers surged. Romantic Homicide and Here With Me re-entered Spotify's global charts, a paradox industry experts call the scandal boost effect. Analyst Tiffany Neon told the Los Angeles Times that morbid curiosity drives clicks faster than exoneration ever could. In Lake Elsinore, Celeste's family attended vigils hosted by neighbors and classmates. Her mother publicly urged patience with the investigation and pleaded for justice without hate. Local leaders used the tragedy to advocate for stronger online safety education for teens. Privately, sources close to the family said the mother felt betrayed by those who continued to defend David. That tension surfaced during early court proceedings related to property motions, where family representatives and members of David's legal team reportedly exchanged heated words, later exaggerated online into claims that David had attacked Celeste's relatives in court. In reality, court records describe only a verbal dispute between attorneys and advocates, not physical confrontation. The hearing itself was a routine motion over evidence disclosure. Still, not everyone accepts the popular narrative of David's guilt. Some legal analysts suggest Celeste may have overdosed while alone or in the company of others, and that the vehicle was later used to conceal her body without David's knowledge. Prosecutor Nima Ramoni told News Nation, "Without toxicology or witnesses, you don't yet have a crime, you have a tragedy." Supporters further argue that if the alleged relationship began when David was 17, It technically started while he was a minor himself. Even so, experts like Dr. Janie Lacey maintain that once he turned 18, any continued contact introduced a criminal power imbalance. The David case has become a prime example of how social media can outpace actual evidence. Independent creators have acted as informal investigators, often misinterpreting court filings or repeating unverified claims. Misinformation about dismemberment and supposed courtroom violence spread online within hours of each hearing. Meanwhile, mainstream outlets such as ABC 7 and E! News have consistently reiterated that no arrests or formal charges have been made. The gap between verified reporting and user-generated speculation now defines much of modern celebrity scandal coverage. Experts warn that public pressure can distort prosecutorial decisions and influence potential jurors long before indictments are filed. As of mid-October 2025, investigators are reportedly analyzing 3 core sets of evidence. First, the toxicology results from Celeste's remains. Second, digital forensics from devices seized at David's residence. And third, Tesla telemetry data showing when and where the vehicle was last driven. Officials expect these analyses to clarify whether Celeste's death occurred inside the car or elsewhere. Until then, LAP continues to classify the case as an undetermined death under investigation. What is certain is this: a 14-year-old girl is dead, and her body was found in a car registered to a chart-topping musician. Everything else, motive, means, intent, remains unproven. David's career remains frozen, his fan base split, and Celeste's family still waiting for answers that labs and lawyers have yet to deliver. Coming up in Part 3, we'll take a closer look at the public and industry reactions. From courtroom confrontations and family statements to streamer commentaries by Your Age, iShowSpeed, and XQC that shape the case's global media narrative. The courtroom tension, public backlash, and industry fallout. When headlines claimed David went crazy and attacked Celeste's family in court, the internet erupted. But when you strip away the sensationalism, what actually happened inside that Los Angeles courtroom was far less violent and far more emotional. On October 9, 2025, David appeared before the Los Angeles Superior Court for what was meant to be a simple procedural motion. It wasn't even a criminal hearing, just a session about discovery materials tied to the LAPD's ongoing investigation. Celeste's family attended, hoping to gain access to evidence collected by police. That's when tensions broke. According to multiple journalists present, Celeste's mother began crying midway through the hearing, demanding to know why David hadn't been charged. Voices clashed. People talked over one another. Court deputies had to intervene to restore order. There was no fight, no assault, just months of grief, anger, and frustration erupting in one confined space. No one was detained, and no charges were filed. Yet when clips hit social media, context vanished. Within hours, headlines screamed, "David